welcome to Comment Section, a show where we talk about things in entertainment news, which of course there's a little bit less of with the pandemic of it all, but here we actually have a pretty big and unexpected bit of news that we never thought was going to happen, so let's get into it.
All right, well, guys, there is some news coming up. You know, there's a little thing. You probably have never heard of it. It's a very obscure thing.
Yes.
You know, there was this movie that came out called Justice League.
Yeah.
And people were a little unhappy when it came out.
Right.
Because it wasn't what we were a lot of people were expecting, because
Yeah.
a lot of the scenes in the first few trailers aren't in the movie.
Right. And, you know, you might be surprised to hear this since this hasn't been mentioned on this podcast.
Yes, but there were a lot of people saying, release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
And so, Zack Snyder hosted a watch party of Man of Steel. He done it early, I think a few weeks ago, for Batman vs. Superman 2.
Yeah.
So he did a watch party for Man of Steel, and during the watch party, it was announced that the Snyder Cut is coming to HBO Max in 2021, which, I'll be honest, never thought this day would happen.
I know.
Because, you know, people would talk about, you know, what they did the Donner Cut, and that's like, but that was over 20 years after Superman 2 came out. And
yeah.
I like Batman vs. Superman, but let's be honest.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder is not Richard Donner, and Batman vs. Superman is not Superman the movie.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like Batman vs. Superman, and I've always been curious about what it would be like, but they are going to do it. They're going to complete Snyder's vision, at least the first 3 parts. There were plans for 5 movies, but we are getting a third one, and you know what? It's nice to see that whatever you think about, you know, Snyder's vision, it's nice for fans, and even as someone who likes Batman vs. Superman, it's nice to kind of put a stamp on and be like, okay, this is finally going to come to a close.
Yeah.
This Snyder era. Because, obviously, Zack Snyder put a lot of his life into this movie. He had a personal tragedy happen during this, so I think this is important for fans. I also think it's probably important to Zack to be able to finally put a stamp, close the door, and you know, the fact that it's being released on HBO Max, to where it's going to be more for fans than the general movie audience, will probably make it so it has better reviews than his previous DC movies.
Yeah.
So, there's that, and I am looking forward to one last time, we are getting Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yes.
Which is just like, yes. Just in case Robert Pattinson sucks, we're going to get 2 Batmen next year. 3 if you count Ian Glenn from Titans.
Yeah.
So, I'm very excited to have one last shot with Ben Affleck as Batman. So, reportedly, it's not coming out until 2021.
Yeah.
According to reports, Warner Brothers is going to spend $30 million on trying to finish this movie.
Dang.
And yet, I've read that someone from HBO said, I wish it was only $30 million. They are spending a lot more money on this movie than I thought they would, because I assumed that, look, it's not going to be for a big audience. So I figured it would have kind of the budget that like a episode of the CW would have.
Yeah.
I figured it might have Crisis on Infinite Earths special effects. Not great, but you know, they're fine for what they are.
Yeah.
But no, they are putting everything into this movie. And did you hear about how it's going to be released?
No, I just knew it was going to be on
it
the
will
HBO
either be
thing.
a 4-hour movie, or it will be 6 episodes of a miniseries. I gotta be honest, I'm rooting for the miniseries because I think that would be awesome.
that sounds awesome.
And, you know, just in case it sucks, you have like 6 chances to get one you like.
Yeah.
That was kind of my view on Arrow season 8. Like, well,
Yeah.
we got 10 chances, and, 7 of them were good. So
Yeah.
there we go. So, I'm excited to see the Snyder Cut a lot more than I thought I would be, because I liked Batman vs. Superman. I'm very excited to see what could have been, and we're getting Ben Affleck as Batman one last time, and really, this will be a nice little stamp, a nice little close the door. We've basically moved on with DC when you have Wonder Woman and Joker and stuff like that, but this will be a nice little, like, cap. Be like, okay, this is really it for whatever you think of the DC era, that era of DC, whether you feel it started with Man of Steel or as I feel it started with Batman Begins, the dark, gritty, grounded era. This will be a nice little, all right, put a stamp on it, it's over, it's done, but we're going to go out one last time. So I'm excited to see that, and hey, if it sucks, we already have an alternate cut of the movie, so...
Yeah.
So I do think people need to remember, who are getting excited for this, like, guys, let's remember, if you didn't like Man of Steel and you didn't like Batman vs. Superman, you probably won't like this. But if you liked both those movies, or if you like me, where you liked Batman vs. Superman, not so much Man of Steel, although sadly Man of Steel has gotten better compared to some recent movies. But Aquaman, Ant-Man the Wasp. But so I am looking forward to. So what are your thoughts on the Snyder Cut? Oh, by the way, please release it on Blu-ray. I don't just want it on HBO Max. Please release it on Blu-ray or iTunes. So what are your thoughts on the Snyder Cut finally happening? One last chance to ride in the Batmobile with Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I guess I feel the same way. Like, I'm more excited for this than I thought I'd be. I think in part because I truly never thought this ever existed in any way. Of course, they have to make it exist to some degree, but I thought
it's very, very unfinished.
Yeah,
it's filmed, but it's like it's an iMovie. It's time.
Yeah,
it's just all a giant mess right now.
So I truly thought this was too far out of reach. I thought this was to the point of conspiracy theory from fans. That like, I just never thought in a million years we'd see a Snyder Cut. So there's still a part of me that's like, until this actually comes out, but I mean, it sounds pretty certain at this point. They are pouring a lot into it, so... And I think the interesting thing, and I think part of what makes me excited for it is because, like, honestly, if the Snyder Cut had been what came out initially, it might not be as good as the Snyder Cut will end up being, because they're getting another chance. They can take in some critiques. There's more time. There's probably not quite as much of a deadline, I would hope.
The only release date thing is 2021.
Yeah.
They don't have a date.
And there's plenty of runtime, it sounds like, to work with. So that makes me excited that I think that they have a chance to really try and... like, because I thought there was something there in that movie. Even though I was... and I also never was... I never had the feeling that, like, the only thing wrong with this movie was that it wasn't all Zack Snyder or anything. Like, I still question whether there's, like, there are issues with the plot that I don't know if they'd necessarily be fixed, but I'm still really excited because I think it would not be too difficult for this to at least be an improvement. And then, of course, like you said, we are getting more Ben Affleck Batman.
Yes. Although, I do think there are two things that also need to be mentioned. Whatever people think about the theatrical cut, which I really like the theatrical cut, but I think people need to remember, Zack is still the credited director for the theatrical version.
Yeah.
And that's not a Warner Brothers decision. That's a Directors Guild of America decision, where they felt there was enough of Zack in that movie to where he deserved the directing credit for that movie. But still, even if like 50% of the movie is his, if an hour is his, then there's still 3 new hours of Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Justice League.
Yeah.
And also, just, because I think some people are getting more excited about this than... I think some people are forgetting that Batman vs. Superman is still not beloved.
Yeah.
I think it is important to... I've read that Warner Brothers does not like the Snyder Cut. And that they think the theatrical cut is a much better movie than what Snyder had planned. But if you're a fan of Zack Snyder's, you still should be excited because it's going to continue in the style of what you had before.
Yeah.
But if you didn't like what came before, don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true. But yeah, this was pretty interesting news to come up during this time because, yeah, I never thought this would happen.
I know, you'd think that, like, during this quarantine time, they could have, at least edited it. Be like, hey, guys, can we move along? Can we get this earlier before December 2021?
Yeah.
When do you think it will come out? Do you think it will come out before the Batman or after? Because when is Batman coming out?
Yeah, is there a date on that?
See, Batman's coming out October 1st.
Okay.
It's gotta be before because they're not gonna want to. They're not gonna want to release 2 competing Batman so close to one another.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean,
although when did the Richard Donner cut come out compared to Superman Returns? But that was kind of a sequel. That wasn't like a reboot. Superman, the Donner cut came out November 28, and when did Superman Returns? Superman Returns was June, so there was a few months gap between Superman Returns and the Donner cut.
I mean, I think I would lean towards saying it would come out before, but I wouldn't be that surprised if they tried going off of the hype of a Batman coming out and like release the cut around Christmas or something like.
So you think afterwards, maybe?
I mean,
well, it is the Christmas movie season, though. Although we probably won't have any Christmas movie. Well, 2021.
Yeah, 2021. I think. I mean, they don't have to. They don't have to film a whole movie or anything. So more than likely, I think it'll come out before. But I just wouldn't be surprised if it came out after.
Yeah, I think it'll come out. I think it might come out. You know what? I'll say. I think it'll come out in June. I think we're 1 year away from
I was about to say June.
Yes.
I was going to say May or June. That seems right, like a summer sort of release.
Do you think it will be the miniseries, or do you think it will be the 4-hour movie? Well, I think we can for sure say it's not going to go into theaters.
Yeah.
Even if it was a Fandango fan screen, there's no way they're going to have a 4-hour Snyder cut in theaters.
Yeah, that's true. I think the right decision would be to go towards the miniseries, but I almost feel like they do the 4-hour. Maybe it would be like a 2-part sort of thing. I don't know. Although, I mean, I guess if it's going on a streaming service, maybe they would. Maybe they would do a...
I think they'll do the mini-series, and, some people will be like, but that's not fair, it's supposed to be a movie. Well, then watch them back to back.
Yeah.
How hard is that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, the Snyder Cut. Oh, can we just say how nice it is to live in a world? This hasn't happened since season 1, but we're getting a new movie with Ben Affleck as Batman.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was just thinking, like, to the potential of there being another Justice League special and it's the same movie.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, so I do have one more thing we could bring up real quick before we wrap it up with some rabbit holes.
All right.
All right, now, a lot of stuff has been going on with the shutdown, but things are starting to open up right now. Unlike me, I am staying where I am for a while.
Oh, yes.
I am not going anywhere. But the CW, our beloved CW, who has all my shows, all my superhero shows, they released their schedule and for next season, and it's a very doable schedule because they have it planned where a lot of their returning shows aren't coming back until winter 2021.
Yeah.
So they're not going to have to rush. But I figured we could look at it. There has been, unfortunately, some recent updates with these CW shows, which are not great news, but we could always bring them up. I don't know if you've heard either of the two of them.
I mean, is it like delays or something?
No.
Okay.
Well, we'll get
That's
to
just
it
what I
later,
felt like would happen.
All right. But here's something that I am excited about. So, let's see, where is it? So, we don't have any of our regular CW superhero shows coming back until winter 2021. But don't worry, because the CW is not going to let us down. And why is that? Because this fall on Tuesday, they're going to air the Swamp Thing show that aired on the DC streaming service. So if you did not have the DC streaming service like I don't, you're going to be able to see Swamp Thing for the first time. It's only, let's see, how long was it? I mean, the show's over now. It only had 10 episodes, but this way, you won't have to be totally without it.
Wow.
And also, you thought season 15 of Supernatural was the end? Oh no, because this fall on Thursday, Supernatural is coming back with its final few episodes. Let's see, how many episodes do they still have? Let's see. Oh, I think they have, what is it, 7 or something?
I don't know.
Let's see. I mean, they have. Let's see. Oh, looks like there's. Wait. It's a 20 episode season, and they've only aired 13 of them. So you got a nice half season still. So I don't know if they'll still count it as season 15, or they should just call it season 16 at this point. But
yeah.
Yep. Supernatural still won't die. It's coming back. Coming back
undead.
One last time. Yes.
Resurrected.
Sadly, I always planned on getting around to watching Supernatural, and I knew that whenever I got around to it, it would finally end, and I was right.
Yeah.
But
there you go.
But also from Fox, it looks like The Simpsons will be back in the fall because it's animation, so it's not like the actors have to gather together.
Yeah.
But we do have our schedule for January 2021.
Ooh.
And there are 2 shows missing. One for, we can talk about why they're missing.
Yeah.
A little bit, although it looks like they'll be coming up probably during the summer.
Yeah.
All right, so on Sunday nights at 8, Batwoman will come to us with another terrible season. But so yeah, Batwoman, the worst thing from the Arrowverse has ever put together. And you know what? I was rooting for it. In fact, maybe someday. I sometimes think about if we should do like editorials on this show sometime about how they could fix Batwoman.
Yeah.
But in a way, it doesn't matter now because did you hear the news about Batwoman?
What? I did. I forgot what it was.
Well, the actress Ruby Rose, Kate Kane herself, is no longer going to be on the show. She has left after one season, which is very surprising.
Yeah.
Which surprised me at first because normally you're signed into 7 years, but nope. It was both she didn't want to be on the show anymore and the show didn't want her on the show anymore. So there you go.
Wow, that's interesting. That's surprising.
Very harsh breakup, it sounds like.
Yeah.
But alas, besides just the main actor leaving, besides the fact that's a terrible show, besides the fact that they've had 2 appearances kind of a Bruce Wayne, they had it in the Crisis crossover and they crapped on Batman. They crap on Batman every chance they can, talking about how Kate will have to fix his failures. Screw this stupid show. But not only did they plan on having Hush, remember Hush?
Yeah.
His big plan is he's going to disguise Bruce Wayne. He's going to be disguised as Bruce Wayne next season. So, in a way, Bruce Wayne will be the villain next season, even though it's not really him. Oh, this show keeps on falling to so many new lows, but it got even worse. Because do you know what they decided to do?
What?
They decide that instead of just recasting Kate Kane, they are going to get rid of her and create a new character as Batwoman.
Just I did see this and I was a little so is it like a situation where this character is no longer going to be Batwoman and then a different person is going to take over being Batwoman in the canon?
Yes. They're going the Power Rangers route.
Wow. That seems bad.
I mean, after season 1, this is the time where you can recast and it's just simply easy.
Yeah.
And I read the statement from the showrunner, Carolyn Dries, who I'm not a fan of what she's done with the show, but she did write a few good episodes of Smallville, so I gotta give her credit for that.
Yeah.
But they talked about how they're going to create a new character, and part of the show is going to be what happened to Kate. Really? Because you did the whole season 1 of what happened to Bruce Wayne, and you never even solved it. And they've talked about in interviews. Oh, we don't know where Bruce is. We'll figure it out. Well, you never did. So this is the second hero that has abandoned this version of Gotham City.
Wow.
So this is like, now look, there's some people who like the show. And if you like it, I'm glad you do. Normally, I wouldn't say this, but I hope that the show gets canceled because it'd be one thing if it was just its own show, but it's connected to other shows I like, and they're kind of deciding what happens with Batman in this universe. So I'd rather the show be canceled, and I wish Titans had been the Batman spinoff that was connected instead, but whatever. So they're going to replace Kate Kane as Batwoman, and you know what? I think that's kind of a crappy thing to do to their fans. I don't think that's fair to their fans. For the people who have been supporting this show for 20 episodes, even going back to the Elseworlds crossover from 2018, I don't think it's fair that for those fans who put in that much time, that you're just scrapping basically everything that came before and you're just going to create your own character. And you know what? I'm not a fan of the Batwoman show, but I looked on the response, and, sometimes you gain a little faith in humanity, because you know what all the tweets were in response to the statement?
Oh, what?
Please recast. And I was like, mwah, I hate your show, but thank you, people.
Yeah.
Thank you. We are, even as someone who doesn't like this show, I want this show to be great. And you know what? Maybe in another episode, because, we're running out of time soon, but maybe for another episode, I'll give an editorial of how I think this show can kind of be rebooted and saved. But I just don't understand why. I mean, after one season, you can easily just recast. And let's not pretend. No, I thought Ruby Rose was good in the role. but it's not like her performance was this iconic thing that you can't replace.
Yeah.
Most of this whole Arrowverse show, almost all the main characters besides Batwoman was played by someone else in Smallville, and we just had a crossover with 3 Superman actors, references to 3 Batmen. No, wait. There was Adam West, Keaton, Affleck, Titans, and no, 5 if you count this one. So 5. I mean, we had all 3 Flash actors together. You can recast. It's okay. Why are you not just simply recasting? I don't like this show, but I feel so bad for its fans.
Yeah.
Who put in 20 episodes and supported your crappy show. And this is what you're going to do? I guarantee you this. They do this show is canceled. I promise you, if they don't recast, this show will be canceled. And you know what? Good riddance. But, I mean, look, you remember when we first talked about it, I was like, man, look what they did with Supergirl. They can do it with Batwoman. Set it outside Gotham City, which they didn't do. But you can get this show back on track. And I wish this show would be great. And I just feel it's unfair for the people who put in so much time. That's 20 hours of television they put into this show watching, and you're just going to throw it all away because you're too cowardly to recast?
Yeah.
So what do you think about this? Is, number one, should they just recast? Now, mind you, we just had a crossover in this franchise with 3 Superman actors and 3 Flash actors.
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think of this for the fans? Is this kind of a crappy thing to do with for the fans?
Yeah, no, you saying that, it really just makes me feel like, man, that seems like a waste of time. Why people care about the character. They don't necessarily care about the person playing them as like more than the character, that is. They want to see what happens next to this character, and it feels like sort of a waste of time. Like now, and I quickly looked up a little more about it, and they're saying part of the mystery is going to be what happened to her, and it's like,
yeah, they said that for season 1 Bruce Wayne, and they never fulfilled it because they clearly, they even said they don't know what they were going to do.
It sort of feels like, if you care about the progress of this character, you're not you don't just want them to be gone for a season, and then of course, what, they're not going to come back. You'd have to recast them anyway if they ever had a part in the show again. So yeah, they should have just recasted and further developed this character.
Yeah, so I don't know if we've really talked about what they've done with Batman that much in here, but I think what they've done with Batman is horrible. Whether you're talking about how they made Kevin Conroy's Batman Crisis evil, or how they're gonna have the regular Batman here just abandon the city.
Yeah.
They have it now where the bad guy's going to pretend to be Bruce Wayne, so basically Bruce Wayne is the villain. I'm sorry, but when you're a DC show, you do not crap on the Trinity, and you especially don't do it when you're a little sidekick character. A little sidekick character, Batman is the only reason you're getting less than 1 million views, which congrats, by the way. So, I'm sorry, whether you're Titans or Batwoman, when you're a spinoff show, that's part of the price you pay. You always have one character who's more important than you, and that's Batman. And you don't crap on the character because you're such incompetent writers that you don't know how to make your character popular besides crapping on the other ones. So, what are your thoughts? Now, you haven't seen the show, but what are your thoughts on the kind of what they've done with Bruce in the show?
I mean, I don't know, it's tough because, I personally can understand, the want for just a separate character, but at the same time, it also feels like if you want it to be that separate, like, just have the decency of creating some kind of new character inspired by Batman or something.
They could have easily just done this show, set it outside Gotham City. She is influenced by Bruce. Maybe he emails her once in a while. Boom. There's your show.
Yeah.
That's what I pitched. If you go back to 2018,
yeah, I
remember
what I
pitched.
That.
And they decided not to. Well,
yeah, they didn't listen.
So this show, even with, the actual Batwoman, is not doing great in ratings. Its season finale had about a, let's see, what was it? A 0.74 rating, so it had less than 1 million views. Will the show be canceled by next season? I say if they don't recast, yes, it will be canceled.
I definitely don't.
I don't
think
see it.
That
happening.
sounds like a surprise. Like it seems like a high potential for the cutting block very soon.
Like CW, they don't have a lot of views, but they have very passionate fans. And with this decision to just replace the character instead of recasting, they've upset a lot of those passionate fans who I don't think will be coming back.
Yeah.
So, yes, there's that. So, Batwoman. Farewell. I saw 2 episodes. I'm not wasting my life on that. If I want to watch a Batman spinoff, I'll just watch Titans instead.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I was watching Titans yesterday. And I got very excited because I looked at the episode list, and guess what the next episode is called?
What?
Just take a wild guess about what is an episode title that would get me excited.
Let's see here. Mask of the Phantasm 2.
Oh, you're very close, but
Batman Begins.
Close. Half that title?
Begins.
Half. No, the other half.
Batman.
Now, another name?
Returns.
No, just Batman, another name for Batman.
Forever.
No.
Oh, the Dark Knight.
No, you're close. Billionaire Playboy.
Wait, is that the Billionaire Playboy?
No, his name. What's his name? That's
Bruce
the
Wayne?
name of the episode. Bruce Wayne is the name of the next episode.
Oh,
I was like,
okay.
I was so excited. Like, Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
He's got to be in that one, right?
Yeah,
I know he's in 5, and I've seen 2.
Yeah.
So he's got to be in that next one, right?
Yeah.
They wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Oh, I am very excited for that episode. Hey, if he can only appear on one show, I'm glad it's Titans. I mean, in the long run, it really doesn't matter if it's connected, but still, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you get Batman, you get Batman.
Yes. All right. On Mondays at 9 in the winter, we're gonna have the return of Black Lightning.
Ooh.
That's right. Now, Black Lightning, I loved season 1. I did not like season 2.
Oh.
But I did watch season 3 because it was going to be part of the Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
Because Black Lightning was separate. But you know what happened in Crisis on Infinite Earths? Black Lightning, officially, his Earth merged with the world. So now he lives on the same world as the Flash and Superman. So I decided to finish the season. I gotta say, season 3 was a big improvement over season 2.
Oh, that's a relief.
Which is good. Although I do think the thing that's missing that was in season 1 is, in season 1 they had, because the character Black Lightning is also the principal of the high school. They never did that. They never showed that in season 3. I think that's kind of something that's missing. It's kind of like in Man of Steel, where you don't show Clark Kent the journalist. You don't show the relatable part, you know? It's just like, something's missing, guys. I mean, I love Black Lightning, but we don't need him running around the suit the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, season 3 improvement. I'm looking forward to season 4 because they set up some cool stuff. All right, our superhero shows conclude on Tuesday. Because at 8, there's going to be The Flash returning for its 7th season, which has always been my favorite show of the CW until now. Because at 9, guess what comes?
Oh.
Tuesday's going to be a big day.
A big day?
A big day. At 8, we have The Flash, followed by... Can you guess what it is?
Let's see. The Flash followed by Titans episode Bruce Wayne. No, I don't know.
No. Followed by Superman Lois.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yes. 2021 will be 10 years after Smallville ended, but it was going to be the return of Superman to the CW. We got Superman Lois. And it sounds like the CW's plan for all these shows that they're still going to have 22 episode seasons, even though they'll just leak into the summer.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. So now 2 shows that aren't on this list, but have been renewed, are Legends of Tomorrow, which I officially gave up on because it sucks now. Because it tried to be a comedy, and Supergirl. Obviously, you can't do Supergirl right now because it's an action show, and your main star is pregnant. So,
right,
that would be an awkward situation.
No, that is
so
tough.
Supergirl,
you can't
Supergirl.
do.
How was your summer? Oh, I don't know, guys. You tell me.
Yeah, no, I was gonna. They can't do like they did in season 4 of The Office, where Angela is always behind something, or I don't know if you ever noticed that.
No, I haven't. She was pregnant during season 4?
Through a lot of season 4 of The Office, Angela was pregnant, and if you notice, if you watch it, you never see, like, her stomach. Like, she's always, like, behind the little, the divider, in The Office, or just, like, it's very interesting to watch after I first noticed it. Yeah.
Well,
I
can't really do that on an action show like Supergirl.
No, exactly.
But it sounds like they still do have plans to have a new season during this time. So we'll see what happens. I'm guessing what will probably happen is that next year the show will come back with season 6.
Yeah.
So also, did you hear about The Flash? Because they had a little bit of an issue too, similar to Batwoman, but not but in its own crappy way too.
Oh.
So they had it where they've had this character, Elongated Man, who was played by Hartley Sawyer, and some old tweets he did were brought up.
Oh.
And they're pretty horrible tweets.
Yeah.
I don't know. Had you heard about this?
I didn't, but I'm not surprised, but I didn't.
Yeah, I read some of the tweets, and they're not good. We'll just leave it there. But it was they're from like 2011 or something. But the show decided that they were going to part ways with Hartley Sawyer. So I do have to ask this. What do you think will happen with his character, Elongated Man? Now, Elongated Man is kind of a separate character from The Flash. It's kind of like in Smallville how they had Green Arrow pop up.
Yeah.
What do you think will happen with Elongated Man? Because he's not essential to the Flash story. He's not like Barry, Iris, and Wally West. So, considering how they're just going to dump Batwoman, although who knows, hopefully, and they still have some time to change their minds, but what do you think will happen with Elongated Man? My guess is he left or died off screen.
Yeah,
between the seasons.
I was thinking, since it's not a major character, probably fairly safe to say it'll just kind of disappear. I don't even know if they have to, maybe a line or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because he's not important to Flash mythology, but still, he's been there for 3 seasons, so...
Yeah.
I liked him on the show, but, sucks what happened. I would rather they just recast, but he's not that essential for the story of the Flash. So, if they just decide to get rid of him, I guess I'll be fine with that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we are coming to a close soon, but before we do, we'll ask what have you watched, and we'll do a little bit of rabbit hole because we always love going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So, during this time of quarantine, we've had some time to watch stuff. So I am asking you, what have you watched recently? And I'll also ask, have you been reading any comics lately, like I have, which I'll bring up a few.
Let's see. I actually haven't read any comics lately, I don't believe. I have watched quite a few things I wanted to bring up. I just remembered this, actually. Finally rewatched Ratatouille. Better than I remembered.
My.
It's a good movie.
I don't think I've watched that since it was in theaters.
Yeah. I hadn't either. But just the other day, I finally rewatched that. Glad I did. It's pretty good. Didn't really remember it at all. Thought I remembered it better than that. But then oh, right. So then there are a couple things. There were just a couple of things on Netflix that I watched that I was excited about. One of them I'm still not sure about. The other one is something I was very impressed with that I'd just like to shout out and recommend to all listening. But the first thing is something I was really excited about. I don't know if you saw that there's this new show by the creator of The Office, along with Steve Carell, starring Steve Carell.
Space Force?
Yes.
Or whatever it is?
Yes. And I was like, okay, I gotta watch this. If Greg Daniels is coming back and with Steve Carell, that's a power team I've ever seen one. This could be good. It doesn't need to be like The Office good, but and I've watched a few episodes, and I honestly I still don't like. I feel like it's almost good. I feel like it's almost really good, but I don't know where that leaves me. I don't feel like I've really laughed that hard the whole time. And there is the second episode was flat out kind of stupid. But
what was the second episode of The Office?
Diversity Day.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel like there's something there. I'm excited to continue watching it and see where it goes. There actually are some. It's got the comedy and some of the serious moments. So far there's less drama than The Office, at least so far. But there are some moments where it feels very sweet. And I actually do really think that Steve Carell's character is really funny in it. But yeah, I just I plan on finishing the whole thing because it's good enough to finish, but part of me feels like, yeah, I don't love it yet, but we'll see.
So if this show, let's say it's a big success, and it lasts, and we have a season 7.
Yeah.
Would you be upset if Steve Carell came back for season 8?
Oh, that he did more seasons of Space Force than The Office. Yeah, I honestly think. Well, I think that there are less. I mean, I might be able to soothe myself by the fact that there are less seasons or less episodes per season, but I don't know. I'd be a little if you would have stayed for season 8 of The Office, we wouldn't have had that.
Hey, Steve, Where now we know where your true loyalty lies. Oh, have we ever talked about? Have we talked about the Office book that came out recently?
Oh, right. We haven't. I listened to some of the audiobook of that as I fall asleep at night, and
Do you have the audiobook?
I checked it out on like a library app. I no
My
longer
God.
have access to it, but pretty interesting stuff.
So maybe I should ask you afterwards what library app this was so I can listen to it.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But,
it's pretty simple to. But yeah, I'm excited to. A lot of the information in it, I actually had heard from the Office Ladies podcast, but I mean, this gets even more in depth because it's a whole book. So,
Did they talk about the Steve Carell exit and about how he was gonna sign on, but they never came to him, and he was like a little upset about that or something.
Oh, right. I did hear that was in the book, but I don't think I had gotten to that part yet. I think it's sort of chronological. I feel like where I had stopped, it was starting to talk about some season 3 stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I have to. It was a pretty popular book. Like you have to. I had to put it on hold and like wait for a digital copy to be available, which feels a little like you're just making me arbitrarily wait.
Yeah,
but
digital copies. They should be available to everyone.
I know.
It's not like there's one copy.
I know, but like for whatever reason, it works like physical copies at a library. When you're doing digital thing, you have to wait for a
sound
copy.
a little power hungry.
That's for some reason how all of them work. It must have something to do with the rights to audiobooks or something.
That's probably true.
I think that's probably what it's something to do with the rights of audiobooks, but
yeah, just so not everyone can just get available for free.
Yeah. So I had to wait, and I think I'll have to put it on hold again and wait for it to finish it. But yeah. Pretty.
But if that's true about what they said, that's got to be one of the biggest blunders in sitcom history.
I know. I am afraid
they did pay for it after he left.
Yeah, they did. I'm afraid I'm going to get to that point and not be happy, but yeah, we'll have to. Once I finally finish that, we should finally have our Office episode, perhaps.
Yes, we should
really talk about it.
And also, this was the same time. Remember how they screwed up the whole Tonight Show thing?
Yeah.
Conan versus Jay.
Yeah.
People were taking sides, but really, NBC is the one who screwed it up.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, how did we get into that thing about The Office?
I don't remember. Space Force. Yeah. Okay. So I'll give one more thing that I want to shout out that I've been watching. There is an improv comedy special on Netflix, Middleditch and Schwartz, comedians Thomas Middleditch and Ben Schwartz, doing like this improv comedy. I've never been so impressed by improv comedy. Like they like have a conversation with the audience and then they improv an entire like episode essentially. Like it's like a narrative. It's like a 40 to 50 minute narrative that they improvise on stage. And I was really impressed by like how good the improv was, but also just how funny it was. Like the hardest I've laughed at anything in a long time was that comedy special. It was truly one of the funniest comedy specials that's on there. So that's just a good recommendation.
All right. So have you had anything you've read recently or no?
Yeah, no comic books. I mean,
shame on you.
That Office book, to some degree, but Yeah. I haven't. Well, part of the thing is I tend to like to read, well, physical copies of stuff, and I haven't had that much access. So,
Yeah, it's been rough.
yeah,
I really look forward to the day when I can go to our local comic place.
yeah. I would like that as well. Because there are a couple things I want to pick up, but
I know they have a new comic that's based and drawn in the style of Batman the Animated Series, and it's like by the old writers. So
I think I
new
did.
episodes in
Yeah.
comic format.
Yeah, I did see that.
I want it so bad.
But oh yeah, what have you been experiencing, reading, or watching?
Well, so between the times that we recorded, HBO Max launched.
Yeah,
So yes, that was exciting, especially as a big Warner Brothers fan. And you know, compared to for Disney Plus, I was excited about their old library.
yeah,
And you know, with Warner Brothers, with HBO Max, I was excited for that too. Although for some reason, they're getting rid of a lot of their DC movies next month, which doesn't make sense, but whatever. But you know, for starting up lineup, it was pretty solid with what they had. But with HBO Max, the thing I'm looking forward to is their new content. And there was one show that was available when the service launched. I was waiting to see, and it looked for a while like I wasn't going to get HBO Max, because if you get HBO the channel for free, you can sign in with your cable provider and have access to HBO Max for free.
yeah.
And my cable provider wasn't doing that. But I guess it sounded like they made a deal at midnight or something, because I was able to sign in at 10 o'clock the next day. I was like, I don't know if they're going to charge me or not, but
Yeah. Wow.
And the thing I was excited to see was the new Looney Tunes cartoons animated series. Had you heard of the new Looney Tunes cartoon series?
Whoa, I hadn't. I am excited now.
Yes. Now, this is the third show we've had in the past. Well, I guess the decade just started, but in the past 10 years, this is the third Looney Tunes television series we've had. I loved the Looney Tunes show. I liked it was called Wabbit in season 1, and then became the new Looney Tunes. I liked a lot of what I saw from those. And we had this new show. I was very excited. And I'll just say this. The show, dare I say, perfectly captures the Looney Tunes. Dare I say it? I will say it. It perfectly captures those characters.
Whoa.
I mean, honestly, besides the fact that the color looks so much better, it feels exactly like those old classic shorts.
Wow.
Like, they have the same character designs, you know. The voice acting is great. What is the guy's name who plays Bugs and Daffy? I think it's Eric Bauza? Is that his name? Eric Bauza? He does such a great job as Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Tweety Bird. And we also have Bob Bergen returning as Porky Pig. Bob Bergen, who I interviewed for a class project my junior year of high school. I don't know if I ever told you that.
Oh, I guess. Oh, I remember that actually. That sounds familiar now.
He has the best. He had the best voicemail message ever, where it was him as Porky saying, "Leave a message with blip tone."
Oh yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. So yes, they've done such a great job. And Jeff Bergman, who was the first person to play a lot of the Looney Tunes characters. He was the first Bugs Bunny after Mel Blanc died, is back as Sylvester, and I think he's Elmer Fudd too. Let's see, who is? Yeah, he's Sylvester, Elmer Fudd, and Foghorn Leghorn. So, they done such a great job with this show. I mean, my only disappointment is that there's only 10 episodes available.
Yeah, I have to check that out. That's impressive. And I really haven't looked into HBO Max at all, and I just am now looking at what some of the stuff they have on there, and I really have to like this is like they've got the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy on here. I believe they have a bunch of Studio Ghibli movies. That it's amazing.
You got pretty much, and Warner Bros. has a big library.
Yeah. Well.
So yeah, that show, it is so good. I've seen, what was it, 4 episodes? So I've got 6 left. Hopefully by then there'll be some new ones. Yeah. Oh, it's so good.
Oh.
And also, another show that I've been watching, basically, it was on the DC streaming service, and then they aired reruns on Sci-Fi. This is a show that I thought was going to be terrible. I thought it was going to suck. But it had Batman appear in it. So I decided to buy the first episode off iTunes, being like, okay, I know I'm gonna hate this, but I decided to do it anyway. And it was the new Harley Quinn animated show.
Oh, right.
And I gotta say, this show is great.
Oh, yeah.
I could not believe how good this show was. Let's see who they have. They have Kaylee Cuoco as Harley Quinn from, was it The Big Bang Theory?
Oh, right.
Let's see. Some guy from Star Wars is Joker. Oh, Alan Tudyk? That's his name, I think.
Wow, they got another guy from Star Wars as Joker?
That's right. And Diedrich Bader from Batman the Brave and the Bold is back as Batman. So this is an adult animated comedy series, and there's a lot of F-bombs in there, and it's awesome.
Oh, wow.
I
need to check out all of these.
It is a show that should be bad, and I was just like, this show's going to suck. But somehow, it's good. And somehow, even as a comedy show, they're still able to tell, like, regular superhero stories.
Yeah.
And, like, you watch it and just like, okay, that's Batman, that's Joker. And Batman's kind of the straight man to everything.
Yeah.
Like, one of my favorite things they've done is the villain Clayface. He's like a shapeshifter.
Oh,
he is the classic trained actor who always sees his every disguise as a role he must play for the stage of life.
Yeah.
And they have her Harley's best friend Poison Ivy, and there's one of my favorite things they've done is with Commissioner Gordon about like he'll turn on the bat signal and Batman will be there and be like, Jim, why'd you call me? And then like Jim will be like, oh, it's my wife again. I got so many marriage problems. And Batman's like, Jim, you know the bat signal's not a toy. And there's like, and then there's like, what was it? Jim's complaining because it's like, oh, I thought we were, he'll like be talking to himself, oh, I thought we were friends, Batman. I didn't know we were just quote unquote work friends. And then there's like one moment where like Harley's in the Bat Cave, like I think she's like tied up or something, and she's talking about how like Batman like she's talking to Batman about how Gordon is his friend, and like a picture pops up on the Bat computer, and it's like everyone is like wearing party hats because it's like someone's birthday, and Batman's the only one not smiling. Oh, it was awesome.
Wow.
And they have Superman in there. Oh, there's this great episode where Harley's trying to look for her arch enemy.
Yeah.
Because Joker has Batman, and she wants to attract an arch enemy. And who does she get? She gets a very young Robin.
Oh.
Even though that she goes to Metropolis trying to have Superman be her enemy, but it's Robin who's the only one who will pay attention. And then there's a moment in the Batcave where Robin is like upset or something, and Batman tells him, you know, I was twice your age before I had my arch enemy. And Robin's like, no, you weren't. It's like, oh, it's true, Damian. Oh, it was awesome.
Wow.
I can't believe how good this show turned out to be.
Okay. I've definitely got a list of things to check out now. That sounds because I've always thought Harley Quinn was such a cool character that deserved more than, like, I mean, I haven't been that into the live action versions of her. Like, this just if this is that good, I'm excited because and I'm looking at the voice cast now, and pretty incredible. I mean, there's Tony Hale from Arrested Development, isn't it? Jim Rash from Community. The villain from Breaking Bad plays Lex Luthor.
He's really good as Lex.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, the whole show is about how she wants to join the Legion of Doom.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is so good.
Awesome.
Do you get the Sci-Fi Channel?
I don't know. Well, we might, but I never use cable, so like I never.
Oh, well, it was. I don't know if they still are, but it might be available. They were available on demand. They might have expired by now, though. But they might have it in reruns there that you can check.
Awesome.
Or if you don't like cable, you could always try the app, which is what I usually did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, HBO Max is not available on Roku.
Huh.
Like, I have an Apple TV for upstairs, and then downstairs I have an older Apple TV, which I can't download apps for.
Yeah,
and then
I have that problem,
I have
too.
a Roku, which I normally use, like, if I travel somewhere, but I've been using it to, like, download apps.
Yeah.
But it's not there. I was very surprised. But yet, whatever. At least I got it upstairs and on my phone.
Yeah.
All right, the other show I'll mention is I've been watching a lot of Hell's Kitchen. Have you ever seen Hell's Kitchen?
Yeah, I used to watch it a lot.
Oh, you know what's nice on Tubi? Tubi, the free streaming service.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I don't think I've actually known about that streaming service.
Well, you should download it because there's a lot of free stuff on there. It's a bigger library than Netflix.
Oh.
At least that's what they advertise. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
But if you watch it on Tubi, it's uncensored.
Oh,
it's awesome.
that's beautiful.
I love hearing some swears.
Well, that would give a whole new spin. I probably saw a censored version back when I watched it. It's funny because I initially watched that show almost like ironically, and I started liking it so much unironically that it honestly started getting me into cooking like years ago, where I was like,
oh, really?
I want to cook now. I'm going to start, like, it's now one of my hobbies.
I watched that show and I wonder why anyone would choose to cook, but...
Yeah, that's one way to look at it. But I think part of the thing was I went from that show to other cooking shows, and those shows were more the ones that made me want to cook stuff. But, yeah.
Beautiful and uncensored.
That's beautiful.
Now, before I get into what I've been reading, there was something I did see yesterday. And it's kind of a follow-up to a story that we mentioned. A big story we mentioned. And it kind of gives it a new ending because the way the story had ended, which I thought the way it was going to leave, was kind of a sad ending.
Yeah.
But it gives it a new ending. One where you're like, okay, I'm okay with this. Do you remember the hype for Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Yeah.
Yes. Do you remember the crushing disappointment?
I couldn't forget.
Yes. Oh, Crisis.
Even though I didn't experience it directly.
Oh, no. But do you remember there were two people I was really excited for to pop up. Do you remember who those two were?
You were excited to see Superman and Kevin Conroy as an older Bruce Wayne, right?
Yes, and one of the Superman I was really excited for was Tom Welling.
Right,
coming back.
Specifically.
Tom Welling coming back. And now you actually saw his appearance. I showed it to you.
Yeah.
And boy, did it suck.
Yeah.
It was just pointless exposition. Really didn't lead anywhere. We found out that he gave up his powers to live on the farm, which completely goes against everything that show said.
Yeah.
Even when I rewatch it, it's like, no, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And you listen to the interviews, and you're just to like the writers, and you're like, guys, well, I'm trying to follow their logic here.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my god, guys. So I was very disappointed in Tom Welling appearance
Yeah.
in it. But yeah, I was watching Supergirl yesterday. Supergirl, season 5. Let's see, how many episodes was it? It was episode. Where is it? Episode, I think 17. Yes, 17. And Lex Luthor is having flashbacks to the crisis. And for a moment, I didn't know this, but we see that old clip of Tom Welling. And it's a very short clip. It's about 3 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just him saying, "Who are you?" and then him punching Lex. I'm like, you know what? They edited a lot of the crap I didn't like. And you know what? For a 3-second scene, that was pretty good. So,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there is a new edit with a lot of the bad stuff, which was most of it, taken out. But still, I'm like, I guess it wasn't totally in vain. Like, we got 3 good seconds.
Yeah.
And he has a line. He does an action scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it wasn't totally in vain.
I guess not. I guess something good came from it.
Yes, it wasn't totally lost. All right, so now, which was just like, oh, I guess all is right in the world now.
Finally.
Yes. So I guess now there is an episode with Tom Welling I look forward to now.
Yeah.
In, the Arrowverse. Now, I didn't know. I was just, oh, wow, they fixed it. Good for them. It's a nice little do-over.
Always good to have a do-over.
Yes. All right, so I've been reading right now a lot of the DC Rebirth titles from 2016.
Yeah.
And I'm about to start Batman Rebirth. So DC Rebirth is when they brought back a lot of stuff that had been gone when they reboot with the New 52. And it's what sounds like this new Superman show will be based on, so that's exciting.
Exciting.
And I've also been reading one of the graphic novels they put up for free, Avengers Kree Skrull War, which is pretty good. Although I will say this. I was reading like the first few issues, and I was a little bored with it.
Oh, yeah.
I won't lie. And you know what I realized? Just flipping through it. The first few issues. There's no Captain America. There's no Iron Man. There's no Thor. It's just Quicksilver, Scarlet Witch, and the Vision.
Oh.
And Hawkeye, who now has the powers to grow.
Huh.
But I mean, then later they pop up later. Oh, there was this awesome one where Cap, Iron Man, Thor find the Vision. Ant-Man has to shrink down and go inside of him. It was awesome. But the basic premise is about how Captain Marvel's come to Earth. Not the Carol Danvers version. A version that was before her that was a guy. But she's in the story.
Yeah.
But it's not the Carol Danvers Captain Marvel. And about how the Avengers didn't turn Captain Marvel over to the police to protect him.
Yeah.
And how like the world is kind of turned on the Avengers. So it's interesting, but I won't lie. These first few without like the Marvel's Avengers Trinity, I was like, yep. This is it. This is what the new Marvel movies will be like now. It's whatever.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Now, shall we wrap this up with some rabbit hole?
All right.
All right. If you ever have any rabbit hole, I don't know if you have any you've thought of or not, but
no, that's okay. And even if I did, we're running a little long, so
yeah, we are. Oh my God.
Yeah, no.
Wow. It's like this is an episode. We're like Dark Knight length right now.
We are.
And put it much longer, we'll be at Endgame length.
Yeah.
Longer than that, we'll be at the Snyder Cut length.
Oh no.
Oh man.
A mini
All right.
series.
Yes. All right. For a former superhero, this is a superhero whose story is now ended. Is there a villain you wish they would have faced? Like, help if I gave a few examples.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so I have a few. One is I would have loved the George Reeves Superman from the 1950s show to have actually faced Lex Luthor. Lex wasn't in that show for some reason. I guess because they wanted that episode to be standalone and they didn't want like a recurring villain. But still, I would have loved to have seen George Reeves versus Lex Luthor. Another one is I would love to have seen Christopher Reeves Superman versus Metallo. He's like a half man, half robot with a kryptonite heart.
Yeah.
Although they did have him in Metallo in the later versions like Lois and Clark, Smallville, and when Superman guest starred on Supergirl.
Yeah.
I would have loved the Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney version of Batman, either actor, go up against Harley Quinn or Hush. Although Hush what came after those movies were over, but still, Harley Quinn or Hush. And I would have loved to have seen Tobey Maguire Spider-Man go up against Mysterio, who would have been played by Bruce Campbell, you know, the guy who makes cameos in all those 3 movies, which makes sense because he's an out-of-work actor.
Yeah.
So it makes sense he would have all those jobs.
Right. What you've just said might be my new number one. Mysterio is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, and I would prefer to have seen that in the Sam Raimi ones. But I mean, I was also the answer I thought before I had thought of that was actually Vulture with Tobey Maguire, because that was another one of my favorite villains. But
he's in the video game.
Oh right. So you kind of get that.
Yeah. Oh, you know one of my favorite moments from the video game is?
What?
It's where the first appearance of Shocker, where was it? They're at a Subway or something.
It sounds familiar.
Like Spider-Man, it meets Shocker the first time, and he goes, "What do they call you?" "Oh, I get the cushion." I should look up some of those Spider-Man cinematics because it is Tobey Maguire voicing them.
I forgot. Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of my favorite villains are from how good they were in the movie that they were in. So there are few that I feel like Mysterio, and I think it was part of the reason. I think I remember when I was first into Spider-Man, there's something I thought was so. I don't even totally remember reading that many comics where Mysterio was the villain, but I just remember liking the design so much.
Is that what you would have known him for? Because you haven't seen him in like the cartoons or anything, right?
Yeah, no. I think I have read at least one comic.
If you get Disney Plus, you should look up the Mysterio episode from the '90s cartoon.
Oh, I currently have a month of it, so I'll have to remember
go
that
do
too.
It's so good. You will not regret it.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, a lot of my favorite villains are from, I mean, we've got really great Jokers and Two-Faces. I probably would have liked to have seen other iterations of Two-Face too, but
well, I mean, we've really only had 2 versions of the character in live action.
Yeah.
On the big screen.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to have seen more than just one moment in Dark Knight.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel about that.
Yeah. So, I don't know if I've ever asked you that, but what did you think of Mysterio in Far From Home? Because he is in that movie. I guess. I heard.
Yeah, he is. I can't necessarily say that Mysterio was my problem with it or anything. Still a pretty cool character. Like, I think, in a way, that might be one of the better parts of it. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't fix it for me.
I had another question to ask, but now I'm blanking.
Oh.
Oh, man, something about a villain. I know later I'll probably remember it.
Yeah.
All right. Is there a popular cartoon that you just don't get how people like it? You know, I'll list 3. I did have 2, but I did think of one.
Right.
All right, here are the 3 cartoons I just don't get how people like.
Yeah.
One is SpongeBob, one is Adventure Time, and the other is Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Well, I like all 3 of those, mostly just Adventure Time and SpongeBob, but or at least at a time, but I think that SpongeBob has some really smart adult humor hidden in there. Adventure Time is just because I honestly just like things that are really weird. That's all things need to be good to me. Ed, Edd and Eddy I mostly just remember watching as a kid, and it hasn't stuck with me as much, but yeah, that's interesting. I'm not surprised to hear you say that, at least. I feel like a lot of the ones that I didn't get as much, I guess, started coming around when I stopped watching a lot of cartoons, like I know even a lot of people like our age, I know, really seem to like Phineas and Ferb, and I've never
watched an episode of that.
I've watched a few, and I just haven't totally gotten. I don't want to say it's bad, but that's one where I'm just like, I don't know. I actually have examples of like more like adult like ones that I just don't get. Like I never personally, well, like yeah, I feel like I might have more, like, I don't really get Rick and Morty that much. I tried it, and that's a newer one.
I've got an adult one too. I just thought of. I'll mention when you're done with yours.
I was afraid to say this because I don't know how you feel, but I don't get King of the Hill.
I think it's all right.
Yeah,
it's not, the graining stuff.
Yeah. Right.
It's a show I don't understand why it's animated though. There's nothing. That show is a show you could have easily done live action. There's nothing about it that needs to be animated.
Right. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now.
Well, I have one adult animated show that I tried.
Yeah.
I tried getting it in multiple channels. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I just think it's boring as crap.
Yeah.
And that's Family Guy.
Oh, yeah. I don't like Family Guy either. I don't.
Like, I get cutaway gag. That's all you do.
That's all it. Like, I actually don't really like cutaway gags in general. But yeah, that's all they. And I think maybe that show kind of ruined it for me. I think part of it is that like sometimes things are just funnier when you don't see it. Like when someone references something that happened, and you just kind of have this, like, that sounds funny, but then when you actually see it, it sort of takes away some of the humor of it.
And it's kind of like a double dose. You're doing the same joke back and forth.
There's a show I actually like this show, but they also do cutaway gags too much. The show New Girl, a lot of cutaway.
Oh, I have not seen it.
A lot of cutaway gags in that too, and I'm always just like, it was funny you didn't need to show that for it to be funny. You already explained it, and then you just show you show the joke that you just said.
Oh,
it's a very weird style of comedy to me.
Have you watched more Friends? Are you more into it or no?
I haven't watched a whole ton more than I've randomly watched some of the later episodes. I don't know if it's just because I haven't slowly progressed to that, but some of the later episodes have seemed weirder to me. And as far as what I've watched chronologically, I think I've only gotten into season 2, and I still mostly just think it's better than I initially thought it was going to be to me. It's not a favorite or anything.
I've just seen one
show.
episode. I'm like, I think I'm good.
Yeah.
My sister keeps on saying, "You always say 3 episodes." I'm like, yeah, but that pilot, man.
Yeah.
That was some rough stuff. I did forget to mention this during what we've been watching. Have you been watching any movies recently?
Besides rewatching Ratatouille, I don't really remember the last movies I've seen.
Well, I have decided that since the movie theaters are closed, and when they open up, I will not be going. At least for a while.
Yeah, no.
Like, honestly, even if for some reason during the quarantine they finished The Batman and they were going to have it playing the day they opened, there's no way. Well, I'm sorry. I'd have to think strongly for The Batman, but besides that, no way am I going.
Yeah.
So I decided every weekend I'll go through a movie series.
Yeah.
So by when we last record, I mentioned I had done Phase 1 of the MCU, and then I did the DCEU, where I threw in Batman Begins and Dark Knight.
Yeah.
But I've had more time because, once again, it's not like I have to get hyped for a new movie. So I've gone through a few movie series. Do you want to guess what the first one was?
Of watching through a series again.
A movie series.
Well, I mean, you did mention that you had not that long ago seen Batman 1989 again.
Yes. That was the first one.
Yeah.
Went through all 4 of those movies.
Wow.
Then, do you want to guess what the next week was?
Well, I guess I'll take one hint. Are these all are these superhero trilogies or series?
One.
Okay.
I
will guess Sam Raimi Spider-Man?
No.
X-Men. Or
no, close.
Okay.
The one I did after Batman was this Christopher Reeve Superman.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Then I did Sam Raimi Spider-Man, which I threw in Spider-Verse to make it a quadrilogy.
Yes.
Yes. And then after that I did the Toy Story trilogy.
Yes.
Where I threw in
the 3
movies. Halloween special.
Yeah.
Yes, the 3 movies. I'll be honest. I was watching 3 and I was getting mad at the 4th one.
Just knowing that it was technically next.
Just knowing the Toy Story trilogy includes the best aspects of cinema, where number 4 has the worst parts.
Yeah.
And you can just tell in number 3 they care about the characters versus they don't in number 4.
Yeah.
Do you know have I ever told you the basic premise in number 4?
Yeah, I know that it's a lot about Sporky for some reason.
Forky.
Forky? I thought it was a spork.
He is a spork, but Bonnie's stupid. This is why she has no friends, which they say in the movie.
You know, I haven't seen it, but that's the worst part about the movie.
This could be a spoiler, but you're not going to see the movie, are you?
Yeah, not anytime soon.
All right, the whole basic premise of the movie is how Bonnie hates Woody and loves Forky.
Oh. Okay.
It undoes the ending of the 3rd movie, because when you watch the 3rd movie, you remember how it's it's Bonnie's reaction to Woody that makes Andy feel comfortable giving the toys to her.
Yeah.
And you see, like, Woody was the one she was the most excited for.
Mm-hmm.
Versus in this fourth one, he's the one she won't play with. She throws him into the closet. And boy, the symbolism isn't lost.
Yeah.
When there's a scene where Bonnie is sleeping in her bed with Forky, just so excited, and Woody's on the ground and the dad steps on his head. It's just, for anyone complaining about how Luke is treated in the sequel trilogy, go back and see Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
But you're watching, you're just like, I am right for not including that fourth movie. Because it just doesn't line up.
Yeah. And I don't feel like I've lost anything for not seeing it, so based on what I've heard, so.
Did you ever see the Halloween special?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, you have Disney Plus?
Yeah.
You should go see the 3 short films they did.
Right. I think some of those might be on my list. I'll have to check it out.
Oh, especially the one where it's like where they're at a fast food place.
Oh,
something. Yeah. Do you have how do you have Toy Story? Do you have it on VHS, Blu-ray, or DVD, or?
I think we probably have a VHS of it somewhere, but the most recent times I've seen it have just been like renting or digital or bootleg. I don't even know. I know I've seen it in the last like 10 years, but I don't think it was from a DVD or anything.
Okay. Go on sometime. Go on YouTube Toy Story Treats.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember Disney's One Saturday Morning on ABC?
Yeah.
They did like these little 30-second Toy Story episodes between commercial breaks.
Oh yeah.
And they're so good. Like there's one where Woody, Buzz, Potato Head, and Ham meet their Happy Meal counterparts.
Yeah.
And there's like I think one of them says like I think Ham says this can't be good for the economy or something like that.
Oh no.
And let's see, there's one where I think it's the green aliens are watching TV and Woody's asking what they're doing, and they're just like, "We love TV. That Urkel kid cracks us up." Oh, it was awesome.
Wow.
So yeah, you should YouTube those. They're on the Blu-ray.
Oh, cool. I will.
Of the first movie.
I actually just remembered something that I rewatched, and it was the most recent movie I watched. I've forgotten about it. It was like a week ago. And every time I tell people that this is one of my favorite movies of all time, like potential top 10 territory, I get mixed reactions. I think for some people, they hear
God, I'm scared now.
For some people, they hear the name of it and they go, "Seriously? What even? That sounds weird. What is that?" And I guess for some people, maybe they just don't get it, like the cartoons that we just didn't get. I watched, and I never watched the show growing up or anything, but I watched the movie Tim Burton directed, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which is one of the perfect comedies. It's hard to even explain for people who haven't seen it, but
I've never seen a Pee Wee Herman thing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I think people have heard of Pee Wee Herman as like, I think as like this kids show thing, and there was Pee Wee's Playhouse. It was a kids show for a long time, but
or the guy who has too much fun at movie theaters,
and that's true too. But if that's all people know, they have no like I have to. It's directed by Tim Burton. Pre Batman 1989, and like it is part of what's so hilarious about it is that it's a movie with the character Pee Wee Herman, and it is genuinely like a sort of like true crime thriller with like extremely dark moments. And like I've told people before, and they just are like, "What, you like some kids movie or something?" Like, no, you don't understand. This movie is the perfect comedy.
Is it like PG-13 or PG?
It's a strong PG.
Okay.
Yeah, it's genuinely unexpected. Like, it's a fairly adult comedy that is appropriate for kids, but I mean, I had just forgotten how solid it is. It's funny the whole way through. But yeah. That's a good one.
Oh, yes. I did. So, also after that, I started doing the X-Men movies, too, after the Toy Story ones.
Right.
I got through the prequel ones, so this weekend will be, like, the X-Men 2000, X-Men 2,
Yeah.
the Wolverine, stuff like that. So, I did finally remember that thing I forgot about earlier.
Oh, yeah?
I mentioned, I was like, there's something about villain I meant to ask you.
Yeah, I remember.
So, I was watching Suicide Squad.
Right.
And we had Jared Leto's Joker.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember how I talked about how in the Star Wars prequels, I don't remember if Anakin, if it's bad writing or if we're supposed to dislike him?
Right.
I was watching it because I remember being unhappy with this version of Joker because they made him too much like a gangster and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was watching it, I'm just like, he acts different in this scene, and he acts like different in this scene, and then later he acts like the classic Joker, and it makes me wonder, is Joker like supposed to be like doing caricatures of other criminals?
Oh, yeah.
When he pretends to act like a gangster? Because, like, he'll act like when you look at him in his three appearances before he, like, dresses in, like, the regular purple suit towards the end of the movie,
Yeah.
he'll act so different. I'm just like, is this supposed to be, like, more like Joker, the showman, the entertainer?
Yeah.
And he's, like, parodying them? Because what they have is, like, it's almost like Joker is, like, changing his act to fit wherever he is.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know.
That would certainly make it seem better if that was the case.
Because I'm just like, is this bad writing, or is it supposed to be where he is acting differently, and then we see him, like, when Harley escapes, he acts like the regular Joker?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't change, like, Jared Leto's performance, where I kind of feel he's overdoing it, and at times I think it's hard to understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I just wondered. I don't know. All right, so is there anything, like a movie or TV show, you looked up spoilers because you thought you were going to be disappointed and just wanted to avoid the disappointment? Or has there ever been anything you've actually gone out of your way to look for spoilers for?
I feel like I stay away from spoilers. Generally, I can't imagine a time. Like, usually if I look up spoilers, I genuinely think, do I intend to never ever see this? Like I've started to become more content with. I read spoilers for books sometimes too, where I'm just like, I'm never gonna read this book, like, because I start thinking about, like, if I'm gonna try and, like, read more books this year or something, even if I read like 20 books this year or something, this is not gonna be one of them. I'm just gonna look up what happens. So I think most of the things where I look up spoilers, I have never seen it.
Well, I did look up. There are a few things I've looked up spoilers for. One was Batman vs. Superman, which I talked about before.
Yeah.
Looked up spoilers for that. One thing that I thought was going to be terrible, because in general I hate superhero conclusions because most of the time they suck.
Yeah.
Was Arkham Knight.
Oh, yeah.
And then I saw the ending. I'm just like, wow, they actually made a pretty good ending.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. And then why do I bring this topic up? Because it happened again recently. So, you know how like we talked about some of the DC anime movies like Batman Hush and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Well, there's like they've had for going on for 6 years a connected universe of some of them. That's what like Batman Hush was, and the death of Superman, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they were going to do a final film in that franchise, and I was just like, I don't care. After Endgame, the Arrow finale, Dark Knight Rises, I don't care. It's going to be suck. So I decided I'm going to look up the spoilers because I'm not going to waste my money on this Blu-ray. And I read it. And at first I'm like, yeah, what a waste of time. And then I read how it ends, and I'm like, huh, crap.
Yeah.
I guess I will have to pick up this Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Because at first you think it's a little bit like, imagine, well, all right, guys, this is a spoiler, okay? Spoiler alert.
All right.
But it's a little bit like, imagine if like the Justice League imagine if like Infinity War happened, okay?
Yeah.
Infinity War, a lot of the characters are dead, and then right after they're dead, Thor goes for the head or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, the villain's defeated, but there's a bunch of characters dead. And then imagine that the Flash is there. And someone tells him, hey, you can restart everything by going back in time and changing the past. So it ends with him going back in time to see the past change. And, like, you see, like, the screen fades to white to show that like the Flash has rewritten reality, so everything's going back to normal. So you're like, huh, crap.
Yeah.
I guess I will have to pick that up then.
Yeah.
All right. Here's another one to ask you.
All right.
Now, the Avengers movies are pretty popular.
Oh, a bit, yeah, a bit.
A bit, yeah. I mean, yeah, $1 billion here or there.
Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
Number one profiting or selling or box office of all time, but you could make $4 billion.
You could do better if you tried a little more.
Yeah.
All right, so obviously there's gonna be an Avengers 5.
Yeah.
But would you rather have an Avengers 5 set in the MCU, or would you rather have a quote-unquote new Avengers movie with a rebooted Cap and a rebooted Iron Man, with Tobey Maguire returning as Spider-Man, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
Well, of course I'd want to see that. I do think that a rebooted Avengers would be a pretty cool deal, in general. But I mean, yeah, if that were in the cards, of course I'd want to see that.
All right, so there's been a crisis that's happened, okay?
Yes.
A crisis on Infinite Earths.
Absolutely.
The DC multiverse of everything has been destroyed. Now you have to pick up the pieces. You may not be able to pick up the last two characters, but you have to pick from all of DC history a live-action version of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, and Green Arrow to put together. If you don't know Flash or Green Arrow, you can skip those, but
okay,
you have to put together from the history a live-action Superman, a live-action Batman, a live-action Wonder Woman.
I can do the Trinity. Well, I think that Gal Gadot is my Wonder Woman choice pretty easily. Let's see. I think that, let's see, for Batman, I'm always torn between picking Michael Keaton or Val Kilmer, because that's often what I go to. What did we just did we decide that what was my favorite Batman costume again? It was a Val Kilmer one, right?
It might be. Val Kilmer's and Keaton's look pretty similar, except for the colors of the belt.
I think I'm going to say Val Kilmer as just a shout out to how much I liked Batman Forever. Superman is tough because I'm least familiar with So was it any live action version?
Any live action version.
Oh, okay. Then I'm gonna do Christopher Reeves.
Okay, that is your holy trinity of this new DC universe.
Yes.
All right, so I figured I would try to pick the characters I think would maybe work the best together.
Oh yeah.
So for Superman, maybe I should I'll go backwards. All right, for Green Arrow, I'm going to pick Justin Hartley from Smallville. For Flash, I'm going to choose Grant Gustin from the current TV show. Now for Wonder Woman, I'm going to pick Linda Carter from the 70s show.
Yeah.
For Batman, because I think he would work best with the other characters, I'm going to pick Val Kilmer.
Ah.
And for Superman, I'm going to pick Tom Welling.
Wow.
That is my DC post-crisis world. All right. Now, same thing has happened with Marvel. The Secret Wars have happened. Now, you had to choose for Spider-Man, Wolverine, Captain America, Iron Man, or Hulk. Iron Man, because there hasn't been another actor to play Iron Man, you have the choice between Robert Downey Jr. or Tom Cruise.
Oh.
Cap, well, let's throw in John Krasinski as well.
Oh,
or
yeah.
the previous actors. You can have the son of the author of Catcher in the Rye who played him in the 90s. Wolverine, we'll just say Tom Hardy because that's who they were almost going to cast in a different movie. So who is your Spider-Man, Wolverine, Cap, Iron Man, and Hulk?
I'm having a hard time not just picking essentially like I think I definitely want to pick Robert Downey Jr. for Iron Man and Hugh Jackman for Wolverine. Then for let's see, for Captain America. Now, the prospect of John Krasinski as Captain America was always appealing to me, but I like Chris Evans as Captain America. I think I would still say Chris Evans. And then, let's see, Hulk, I am not too familiar, but I just know that I don't need it to be Mark Ruffalo. So I would pick a different one.
You could have Eric Bana, Edward Norton, or Bill Bixby.
Which one is the one? Wait, who is the 20? Was it 2010?
2008.
Oh, wait, that was a 2008 movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You mean the Incredible Hulk?
Yeah,
movie?
Yeah.
The one that takes place in the MCU?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Edward Norton.
Okay. I would like to see what that MCU could have been. And that's just a pick just to pick something.
Okay.
Then I've got what was there? Spider-Man and
Spider-Man's the only one left,
oh, okay.
I think. Yeah.
That's really the big question.
4 live action ones to choose from.
So basically, I've created sort of an MCU, and I'm adding a Spider-Man to it. Gonna have to go Tobey Maguire.
Okay. That is your post-Marvel Secret Wars world.
Yeah.
So, I will choose Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, Chris Evans as Cap, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. I'll go Bill Bixby as the Hulk, and I'll throw in Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
I thought you might do Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man.
Yes. Although it does depend on when they want to do it. Like, do they want, like, a younger Spider-Man? Do they want a Spider-Man who's, like, married and stuff?
Yeah.
Like in the comics?
Right.
All right. So, second to last rabbit hole. Spider-Man reboot's coming. Hopefully one day soon.
Yeah.
But we'll say there's a Spider-Man reboot coming. What do you want from a Spider-Man reboot? More specifically, where do you want the character to be in his life whenever they reboot Spider-Man again? Hopefully soon. But where do you want him?
I think I'm kind of content finishing the high school phase. I think seeing like a college age might be kind of interesting. Um, but in as far as direction, I would love to finally see. I think I always say that I tend to prefer less grandiose like themes, like smaller stories taking place in the neighborhood. Like I think Spider-Man is the perfect candidate for something like that, for these smaller stories, and I'd really just like to see local problems, I guess. So that would be the direction I'd want it to go in. Is I mean, whether it's in high school or college or something is less important to me than that. But if I had to pick, yeah, it would be slightly post high school or something to feel like a sort of natural progression from where we are.
All right. Well, for me, when I started reading Spider-Man comics, it was during the J. Michael Straczynski run, which is a very exciting time.
Yeah.
So, if I had the choice for reboot Spider-Man, I would want a Spider-Man, a young adult Spider-Man, who is now a high school a science teacher at his old high school, goes through the marriage problems with Mary Jane, and we see kind of Spider-Man. He's in like a different role.
Yeah.
There's this great story about how, and they're still like high school stories, but now Spider-Man has a different role to where he has to he's looking out for his students. Like one story they had where this girl's brother was missing and they thought that the brother was a junkie, but it turned out there was this guy kidnapping kids for some Doctor Strange villain or something.
Yeah.
And it was really cool. I'd love to see, just the older Spider-Man, the high school science teacher. That way he's still like the everyman. And then having problems with Mary Jane maybe in the first one, and then the rest of the movies. I'm assuming it'll just be a trilogy because that's where we are now in this world. It's always just a trilogy reboot.
Yeah.
Assuming getting a nice trilogy of that.
Mm-hmm.
And may I suggest one of his students could possibly be Miles Morales to maybe suit up. I'd give him a different name than Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But maybe suit up in a second and third movie.
Yeah.
So that's what I would want from a Spider-Man reboot.
Yeah. That's interesting
All
too.
right.
All right. So
When do you think the next Spider-Man reboot will happen? Do you think that once this Marvel Studios contract is over, will they reboot Spider-Man in the Venomverse, or are they just gonna keep going with Tom Holland as is?
I think it'll. It's a. I think I don't know about that, but I do feel like once this Spider-Man is done, that it might be a while. Like it might be a longer while than from.
Well, remember they had to make a movie every 5 years to keep the rights.
Oh yeah. That could change things then. Huh. I kind of wonder if they will just keep going with Tom Holland then. I mean, he's young.
I think they'll keep going, but I think they'll create so many continuity problems.
Yeah, no, I think that it'll start to feel like it'll drift in a different direction perhaps, but I feel like they might keep him as Spider-Man.
I think they will, but I think it would be better just to start over from scratch.
Yeah.
All right, last rabbit hole.
All right.
I guess this is just a simple yes or no question. Would you like to see, if you had the choice, would you like to see Matt Reeves' The Batman in color or in black and white?
Very interesting. Like a stylistic black and white choice.
Yeah.
I think it'd be cool to see like muted tones, like it almost black and white, but just a little bit of color. But it's just sort of a darkness like that, a stylistic darkness where it's almost black and white. I don't know if I'd go full black and white, but I do think that would be a really cool stylistic choice.
Oh, yeah. Although, we all know it's going to happen in color, but still.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would be cool if they did like what they did with Logan, like a noir version.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
All right, guys. Well, after, oh my goodness, 3 hours? Oh,
Yeah.
I can just feel it. We are coming to the end
Yeah, we'll have to
of this episode.
We'll have to see if this
comment
is
section.
another one we have to split up, because that is a beefy episode to try and upload.
Yes, it is.
But thanks for listening to anyone who managed to make it this far.
Yes, and always and forever, remember, whether it comes to you or you go to it, there's always a nice hole that you can fall into or jump into. And you can always and forever keep falling down that rabbit hole.